Shalom, Yashrala. This is your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and I rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here topic as far as a response to this here video that, some of the Akim, the Akim sent this throughout, group text and things like that, But nevertheless, by now you've probably seen, some brothers are actually doing videos on this, But nevertheless, this is, Donald Trump talking about certain things or whatever, whatnot. And he happens to mention, the prophets of doom, and not to listen to the prophets of doom, And just as going into this here situation, it's something to look at, it's people look at us as like so-called crazy people or whatever, whatnot, or the things that we talk about. Like, you guys believe that? Or they always say, well, you have your beliefs, I have my beliefs, or whatever, whatnot, Just like the scripture said, there's no proper interpretation of the scriptures. There's only one way to break these things, the scriptures down. All right. You have all these people with their different interpretations of how they believe and this and that. Same way with just the truth, the truth in itself, about these prophecies and things going forth. All right. So there's going to be somebody out there with the actual prophecies that's going to actually break these things down. This is how the Most High deals with things. All right. But again, people take this as a, lightly as a joke or whatever, whatnot. But on a way higher level, these elites, they know that what we're the position that we're in and what we're doing is actually true. They know that we're the men of the Lord. They know that we're the real prophets, and they know that we're prophesying the downfall of their kingdom. They take this very serious. All right. You have to go back to just you being an Israelite. These people spend trillions and trillions and hundreds of trillions of dollars to keep this information out of your mind. Psalms 83, dealing with come let us cut Israel off from the name of Israel from remembrance, roughly paraphrasing. But nevertheless, this is what they spend all this here money on, advertisement and sports and entertainment to keep you asleep from all these different things. So you have to put that in the context. Why do they have all these distractions? Why is all these so-called ways of truth coming out? You have all these different, ways of life or philosophies coming out, and all these different so-called religions like Kemet type of shit. And really, it's only on you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. You don't see the so-called white man coming up with 1,000 different religions like that, man. All right. But nevertheless, all these things are being used as weapons towards you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You have to understand why. Why does all this, the ordinance of all the different things, no matter what you want to go into, no matter how far off you think you're going, like these people want to get into witchcraft or all kind of different shit, like, well, when you look at the origins of all these things, they all have their origins in the Bible. You should wonder why everything goes back to the Bible, but nevertheless, like I said, man, hey, this is actually, this isn't something to take lightly. This is actually what it is. This is actually going live right now. There's the Lord has actually sent forth, this is all, reassurance of what we believe in. There is a supreme power, all right, that deals a certain type of way, all right, and in this point in time, he sent forth his prophets, all right. He revealed, the Lord do nothing but before he revealed his secrets into the prophets, his servants, the prophets. So he revealed his secrets to his servants. His servants on the highways and the byways, prophesying and telling you about these things, all right, warning you about the destruction that's coming. All right, then now we actually live in a time where all these things are being manifested. All right, so jumping into this situation. All right, let me play this video first, and then we'll get into some scriptures.
We are on the threshold of virtually unlimited reserves of energy, including from traditional fuels, LNG, clean coal, next generation nuclear power, and gas hydrate technologies. At the same time, I'm proud to report the United States is among the cleanest air and drinking water on earth.
And one thing you have to remember, matter of fact, one thing you have to remember is this is the same guy who said, this is the same guy here. This is Jeremiah 51:8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. All right. So this is, the same guy who got into his campaign talking about make America great again. All right. And right now in this here speech is what he's basically talking about. Like, everything is actually going up. Everything is getting better. Everything is going good. He's so-called saying, things that he's saying is that he's actually healing Babylon. Right. Verse 9 says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for a judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even into the skies. All right. So look, what is Donald Trump telling you? You know, this is the controversy, man. You have basically good set against evil. All right. So you have, you know, the Lord and his prophecies and his will that's going forth, all right, via the prophets. You know, the prophets are out here telling you what's business coming, right? But then you have the so-called forerunner or the face of their side, you know, Donald Trump over here telling you, oh no, everything is getting good. We're gonna make America great again. We're gonna make Babylon great again. We're gonna build it up. Now he's reporting telling you everything is all good, right? Let's continue on.
And we're going to keep it that way. And we just came out with a report that at this moment, it's the cleanest it's been in the last 40 years. We're committed to conserving the majesty of God's creation and the natural beauty of our world. Today,
which is all lies, because these are the same Edomites that's destroying the whole earth itself, you know?
I'm pleased to announce the United States will join 1 Trillion Trees Initiative being launched here at the World Economic Forum. 1 trillion trees. This is not a time for pessimism. This is a time for optimism. Fear and doubt is not a good thought process.
See, fear and doubt, all right? So they're talking about it's not a good thought process, you know? Basically, he's trying to reassure the people and everybody else, no, everything is going all good. But you have to understand, this is the damn devil that's talking. The devil know he had but a short time, all right? So he's trying to lull everybody back to sleep, all right, and make everybody feel like everything is okay. Just keep your trust over here, because of why? People are actually getting scared of what, especially now, because they've seen us on the highways and the byways year in and year out prophesying. And, you know, the whole condition is all changed up. You know, beforehand, they was laughing at us, mocking at us, riding by, taking pictures and coming up and scoffing and trying to argue or whatever, whatnot, you know, and all these different things. They try to debate with us. You know, they come by, make memes of us and do all this different shit about us on the internet or whatever, whatnot, and laugh at us or whatever, whatnot, you know. But now we coming into the point now where they starting to see all the things that we've been talking about all coming to pass. All right. And the thing that's going to come into their mind is, look, these are niggas that's causing all these problems to come upon us. These are niggas that's fucking us over right now. All of our problems are coming from these niggas, the ones that's out here speaking about this on the highways and the byways, but yet and still they so blind to realize that it's the Most High bringing the judgment. All right. They're just, you know, in their mind, they basically hear us saying these things. And when these things come to pass, all right, and then they walk back by us again, you know what I'm saying? They hear us saying the same old thing, and it's resonating in, it's resonating in their spirit. You know, for instance, an Edomite might walk by, he's all proud. We tell him that he's going into captivity. You know, he's about to lose everything. You know, the curses are about to fall on him, and everything's just finna go left field for him. You know, at first he walked by, he's laughing and scoffing. Oh, you niggas need to get jobs. You need to get jobs, get a life, go get some pussy, go live a little, right? He's telling you that at first, but then next time he walks by, you know, the Lord start bringing that judgment down on him. You know, his wife then left him, took half of what he got. He lost his job. You know, now this nigga's homeless and shit, all strung out on drugs. You know what I'm saying? Keep getting beat up and robbed. Now the next time he walk by us or whatever, whatnot, we still preaching the same message. But now he all cut to the, you know, to the spirit, and he want to take it out on us. So he's mad at us because he thinks that we brought this upon him. But like, no, we just, you know, telling you what the Most High is in store for you, you know? But continuing on with this video.
Because this is a time for tremendous hope and joy and optimism and action. But to embrace the possibilities of tomorrow, we must.
You also have to understand the perspective of how he's talking. You know, this is a great time for optimism and joy and expansion and living the best life or whatever, whatnot. You know, the problem is the majority of you Israelites, you think that when these Edomites talk, they talking like this, they talking about for everybody. No, this is just talking about these Edomites. All right, these Edomites not talking about that this should be a time for optimism and joy for everybody, because they the ones oppressing everybody else, man. He's not talking about the Arabs and shit like that, man. All right, the people they trying to deport and whatever, whatnot. They only talking about them, you know. So for our people to be sitting here watching Donald Trump or any of these damn Edomites like that and just be like, oh, it's all good, you know, he trying to work for us. No, he's not trying to work for you, man. All right, he's trying to deal for his own people, and this is how he's talking about his own people, man. All right, no matter how he's saying everything getting better, but things is getting worse for Jake, you know.
Must reject the perennial prophets of doom and their predictions of the apocalypse. We must.
Oh, I'll let it play again.
Reject the perennial prophets of doom and their predictions of the apocalypse.
So basically, this is a reinsurance, you know, to keep everybody back. You know, this is basically the guy that's going out there to reassure you that everything is okay. Because why? Why does he even have to make a statement like this? Why can't people just be like, oh, these niggas is just retarded, man? There's no weight in what they saying because we don't see none of the shit that they talking about going on. No, it's the opposite of that. They hear us what we saying. We in every city, every state, we everywhere, all across every country, damn near. We all throughout the four corners of the earth telling you the same message. All right. And we not the ones that's over here bringing these calamities down upon you, man. We not starting no fires, no famines, no wars, trade wars, disease outbreaks. We're not starting none of these things. We're just telling you that this is what the Lord is bringing down upon you. And now that you have to deal with these perplexities and this distress of nations and all these different things, the uproars of the people, man, everything is spiraling out of control. People are looking for answers. Like, wait a minute, Trump, I thought everything was all good. Why all of a sudden these people on the highways and the byways cussing us out and we go to jail whenever we say something about it, man? All right. So now people are kind of concerned about this. And, again, they're not going to put this as the mainstream front story on the news. Oh, the Israelites, this and that, because really every time that they try that, all right, like the scriptures say, you can't do nothing against the Most High, but only, for the Most High, basically. So, yeah, you keep putting this on the news and, people can see through the damn cracks. More and more people are waking up to this, but nevertheless, this is a message basically to reassure the people that's following after them, all right, that everything's going to be okay. Don't hearken into the perennial prophets of doom, all right, that prophesy about the apocalypse. Again, why does that even matter? Where the fuck does that even come from? Right now I'm playing a position of these 2/3 right now. Like, nigga, this shit is fake. Why are we even talking about it? You know what I'm saying? It's like me saying, look, if I'm the president of the United States and I'm trying to, making a speech before the Americans, you know what I'm saying? Play this out. You Americans, you shouldn't be afraid to go to sleep. Freddy Krueger's, he's not going to get you. Michael Myers ain't going to get you. You should stop fearing the boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was the president saying some shit like that, people would look at me like, nigga, we know the boogeyman ain't real. We know that, Michael Myers ain't real and Freddy Krueger ain't real. Like, why are you telling us not to fear them? That's a movie. Don't be scared of the Chucky doll, That should really be the equivalent to what's going on right now, So you saying people that think that we just on some bullshit, you should ask yourself why the president of the United States is basically referencing us, man, telling you not to not to fear us. Why is he trying to say you this here thing, man? All right, because obviously there's some kind of real threat there. You don't hear Donald Trump telling you not to fear like Freddy Krueger or something like that because it don't exist. He don't even have to tell you about that. That should just be common sense. All right, but in a scenario like this, it's like, oh shit. This is actually getting to the people, amongst Jake churches, you got a lot of our people leaving those churches or asking these questions to where a lot of these Christianity pastors are actually having to speak on these things, man. But ultimately, at the end all be all, now you got Donald Trump addressing the nation, talking about you need, don't fear the prophets of doom, that prophesy about the apocalypse. Well, that letting you know that that's the time that you win. They trying to keep you asleep so they can, you know what I'm saying, basically pull a fast one on you over at this here point in time. You're going to wind up being a so-called casualty of war. It's like, well, shit, these elites know that something is coming. They're like, well, we got to get all this here money and resources from all the people. We can't tell them that we need all their resources because they don't want to just give it over to us. So we'll have to tell them that everything is okay. Keep investing into this, and that. And at the end all be all, we'll pull the plug, take all their shit, and we'll disappear, But nevertheless, this is what is going through with your boy Donald Trump talking about don't listening to the prophets of doom. All right. Now that's basically what the Lord has got, that's basically what the prophets are out there for, man. All right, we're gonna start here in the book of Jeremiah 28 and verse 20 and verse 8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms. All right. So when the prophets came, they would normally prophesy, in general, they would prophesy against a whole nation or a kingdom. All right. And how was it, what was the majority of their prophecies, You don't really have any scenarios. We have a couple scenarios, when the promises was given out, like to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, things like that, But other than that, there's no other scenarios in the scriptures where there was prophecy against a nation for so-called good, Like I said, beyond Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, obviously they got blessed, as nations and whatnot. Esau got a blessing as far as being ruling over the earth and everything like that. But nevertheless, for the most part, the Lord would send out the prophets before he would destroy a nation or bring down judgment on a nation. All right. So it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. All right. So going into that, like the scripture also say, the spirit of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. All right. So throughout all the time, this is what the prophets wanted to do. And every time the Lord raised up the prophets, it was because why? He was going to, let me go to deal with this real quick. Ezekiel 3:17 says, Son of man, I made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. All right. So the prophets that was raised up unto the Israelites was basically to give them warning, hey, turn from your wickedness or you gonna die. Let me read the next one. Verse 18, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked ways to save his life. All right, now, this is talking about, the prophets to the Israelites, but just think about this in a whole as far as a prophet speaking to a nation of people, a whole group or a kingdom of people. All right. And it says, if thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked ways to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but the blood will require at thy hand. Now, the point there I was getting out of this was what the Lord said, not only Ezekiel, but the other prophets up to go in this scenario to go to the Israelites and warn them, tell them that they're going off so they can turn back. All right. Before pending destruction come upon your ass. Right. Same way that the Lord sent out the Israelite prophets, the Israelites, the prophets, which were Israelites. All right. Also to the other nations. All right. To prophesy unto them their downfall, basically, So, this is what the prophets were doing. The prophets before me and of old prophesied against many kingdoms and great countries, about, famine, death, destruction, and war, and all these different so-called evils that was going to come upon them, So again, you could, for the people there, they could always look at it as, damn, these are prophets of doom. The prophets of doom, Of course, the people that's in the rulership would want you not to listen to the so-called prophets of doom. They wouldn't want you to listen to this because why? You're exposing them. Second of all, they know that their kingdom is about to go down, so they wouldn't want you to hear all that. All right. This is Jeremiah 26. I'm gonna start at verse 2, just to give you an example. Thus saith Yahweh, stand in the court of Yahweh's house and speak unto all the cities of Judah which come to worship in Yahweh's house all the words that I command thee to speak unto them, diminish not a word. So again, like we read in Ezekiel 3:17, I set thee to be a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, speak my words unto them, give them warning from me. Here's the same thing. It says, which come to worship at the Lord's house, all the words that I command thee to speak unto them, diminish not a word. So look, you're going to speak all the words that the Lord spoke unto you and commanded you to speak. All right. So it's not, you're not coming out, just out your ass. Oh, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. Fuck y'all. No, man, this is what the Lord is saying. All right. Verse 3, if so, they will hearken and turn every man from his evil ways, that I might repent me from evil, which I purpose to do unto them because of the evils that they're doing. All right. Now, this is basically dealing with the Israelites, but as an example, all right, the Lord is sending out his prophets of pending destruction. All right. This is what's going to happen. Just like, you got a house that you're paying a mortgage on, or a car or whatever, whatnot, they'll send you sometime a letter if you late on your payments. Hey, man, you got to make a payment before we come repossess your car, or we come in foreclose in your house or whatever, whatnot, Verse 4, and thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh, if you will not hearken to me to walk in my laws, which I set before you, to hearken to the words of my servants, the prophets, whom I sent unto you, both rising up early and sending them, but you have not hearkened. So the Lord is sending out his prophets to warn the people, especially, mainly the Israelites, but really the Lord sent out his prophets to warn the people. If you don't turn back, then this impending destruction is coming on your ass, right? But what? The people ain't going to turn back. So guess what's going to happen? The doom is going to come. And then what do people equate the people that was telling you about the doom before it come? Prophets of doom. And this is, if we live in, hey, you seeing the same shit that we reading right now going on right now with Donald Trump talking about us, man. All right. So it says, and you used to have some scholars, y'all really stretching and reaching for one. Okay, but at the end all be all, you're gonna know that there's been a prophet among you. All right, because we've been telling you, like, if you've been listening to us long enough, you'd have been hearing about the same things. A lot of you people should be tired of hearing us read the same scriptures all over and over and over and over again, But now, if you really got the eyes to see, you excited to keep hearing these same scriptures. Like, damn, I've been hearing y'all say that for the longest time, but now I'm actually seeing it happen. All right. These other people, they don't actually see these things happening. That's why the scriptures say, blessed are your eyes will see the things that you see. All right. But nevertheless, these people don't see it at all. So therefore, they're blinded. If our gospel be hid, it's hid to those that are lost. All right. Talking about what? The Israelites. All right. But then also it says that the wicked shall not understand. Dealing with, these other people, these other nations ain't going to get it. They're not going to understand, man. All right. Verse 6. But I will make this house like Shiloh and make this city a curse to all nations upon the earth. So the priests and the prophets and all the people heard Jeremiah speaking these words in the house of the Lord. Now it came to pass when Jeremiah made an end of speaking all that Yahweh had commanded him to speak unto all the people, that the priests and the prophets and all the people took him, saying, thou shalt surely die. So why are the people, why are the people always reacting like this? Because why? The prophets basically coming and raining on their parade, man. Tell them, look, y'all niggas can't be drug dealers no more. Like, what you mean I can't be no drug dealer? Nigga, I just made $1 million off of this bitch, and I'm about to flip it to another $1 million. What you mean I can't be no drug dealer? I mean, you got me fucked up out here. This is the reaction of the people, man. We over here selling gods to Diana or whatnot. That's how we making bread over here, man. What you talking about? We can't make no more idols. These women out here working in a strip club and twerking and selling their body. What you mean I can't be no whore? I'm making a bag right now, man. You fucking up my money right now. I got long money right now. This is why the people want to wind up killing the prophets of our people want to kill the prophets, because why? It's telling them, look, man, your fun time is over with, But as far as these other nations, all right, it's because look, they would be in rulership. They would have us in captivity, all right? And the Lord would basically let them know, like, all right, man, your time of rulership is over. You at the end of your rod. It's time for you to get up off of their throne, Just like, you see little kids or whatnot, and they might be taking turns playing a game. All right, it's time for you to get up off the game. Now this little nigga want to unplug this shit or break the controller or whatnot. Like, all right, if I can't play it, can't nobody play it. And that's pretty much what these nations, the mind state that they get into, man. All right, so this is why, you having them coming up, reject the prophets of doom, changing up the YouTube algorithms and stuff like that, trying to get us off the internet, man. All going into what? The book of Amos, chapter 8 and verse 11, the famine of the word, all right? This is really getting up under the skin of Esau right now, man, all right? Verse 9, why hast thou prophesied in the name of Yahweh, saying, this house shall be like Shiloh, and this city shall be desolate without inhabitants? And all the people were gathered against Jeremiah in the house of the Lord. So again, all the people's like, what you mean we finna get destroyed, man? What you mean? So on and so forth. We love this place, man. Let me just talk about, Tupac had a song, To Live and Die in LA, or California Love, right? Now, think about that. They all out there partying, whatnot, everybody loving California or any other state, But then you have all that wickedness that's going on out in all these different places. Let's just say, again, like the state of California, the LGBTQ community over there, whatnot, heavy, right? But they over there partying and celebrating in the spirit of California love, right? But then now you talking about, look, the Lord finna destroy this place for all the wickedness, man. But they like, nah, don't turn down the party, man. We over here partying. Everything is all good, man. Nah, you're not finna, it's like you in the club and your favorite celebrities up in there, whatnot. Y'all partying all extra hard. You know what I'm saying? Free drinks, free everything. Bunch of women in there. Then all of a sudden, and the party just now is taking off. It's just getting lit. It's another 3-4 hours for the club closed. But the fire marshal come in and shut down the club, talking about too many people in there. And you was just getting your groove on. How you think you gonna feel? You gonna be blowed, bro. You like, bro, y'all done fucked up my whole night, bro. This is what the people are, not only our people, but how do I say? Moreover, the Edomites, because this is the end of their parade. This is the end of their society. They're now coming down. They're now feeling the heat, man. They've always been riding up on high, drinking out that golden cup. And now, what I'm saying, they got to go to a soup kitchen, metaphorically speaking, These people have always had good jobs, always had money coming in, could always afford everything. But now they're getting sick and they don't got health care, losing jobs, can't get no money. What I'm saying? They actually broke now. So now they're going through a lot of hard times and things like that, man. They starting to feel it. And now they going back to, damn, these niggas was talking this shit the whole time. You know what I'm saying? This is like, you a younger person or whatnot, and you doing something, and I don't know, you just probably acting an ass or whatnot, and somebody say you gonna fall and bust your ass or whatnot, or you need to stop fucking with him before you knock your ass out. Then whatever happened, you follow this dude wanted knocking your ass out, like, see, I told your dumb ass you should have did that. Then the person get up and want to swing on you, like, wait a minute, I didn't knock you out, he knocked you out, you should go swing on his ass. I didn't push you off the little bike or whatever. You fell off the bike because you was, acting ass over there, basically. I just told you what was going to happen. Now you mad at me because of the fact? This is why these people look at us like this. Because why? Their parade wound up ending, but then they blame us for it because we told you, how you say, your judgment for the things that you're doing. You don't try to look at yourself and take responsibility. You know what? We was over here with all this here wickedness. We was trying to persecute the men of the Lord. We was trying to ignore what the Lord was saying, The whole time we was just shutting our ears, Continuing on, verse 10, when the princes of Judah heard these things, they came up from the king's house into the house of Yahweh and sat down in the entry gate, the entry of the new gate of Yahweh's house. Then spake the priests and the prophets unto the princes to all the people, saying, this man is worthy to die, for he has prophesied against the city, as we have heard with your ears. All right, as you have heard with your ears. So again, they look at the prophets as if they the ones bringing all this death and destruction, just because they got fed up with everything. They said all these things. Like, how much power you think the prophets really got like that, man? If that was the case, you would have been not existed, man. But it's the prophets that's, sighing and crying for all the abominations in the midst of the city thereof. All right, crying out to the Lord, praying to the Lord, and then the Lord decided to use that prophet to go over there and pronounce your judgment. All right, because the Lord is ultimately tired of the wickedness. He's the one who's going to bring the judgment. All right, but the people look at the prophets like, oh, don't listen to the prophets of doom, man. We're going to keep going on forever, man. This is the same story we're reading right here in Jeremiah 26. All right, verse 13. Therefore now amend your ways and your doings, and obey the voice of Yahweh thy power, and Yahweh will repent from his evil that he has pronounced against you. All right, and that's the point, man. Dealing with our people. Hey, come back to the law, statutes, commandments. Come back to your power. All right, and the Lord ain't gonna do all this wickedness to you. Well, bring judgment down onto you. All right, but what? Our people are hard headed. They're stiff necked. They want to keep going on in their wickedness, and so therefore the Lord brings down judgment on them. But now, how much more dealing with these Edomites? All right, they can't repent. There's no place of repentance found for them. They're not gonna get right. All right, so they're gonna keep going. They're gonna keep waxing worse and worse until the very end. All right, and then that's when that judgment is gonna come. All right, this is why this here place is going. We already read how this place is gonna be destroyed, so we know that these Americans ain't gonna repent. Let the children of Israel go and be sorrowful or whatever. We know that that's not gonna happen, man. All right, but nevertheless, continuing on, verse 14. As for me, behold, I am in your hand to do with me as seemeth good and meet unto you. But know ye for certain that if you put me to death, you shall surely bring innocent blood unto yourselves, and upon the city and upon the inhabitants thereof. For the truth, Yahweh have sent me unto you to speak all these things, speak all these words in your ears. So it's like, look, y'all can put us to death. You can throw us in jail. You can slander us and do all these things, but it's really to your own demise. You just stacking up more sins on top of your own plate, man. You raising up the charges for the things that you're doing, man. The problem ain't with the prophets. The problem is between you and the Most High. Why don't you just repent from your wickedness? Talking to our people, repent from your wickedness and come back, and then this destruction won't come upon you, man. All right, but we know that that's not going to happen. We can read about the 2/3 as well too. That's prophesied, and that's going to happen. All right, but also dealing with these other nations or whatnot. All right, these nations are mad at us. All right, because of the fact that we tell them, like Revelation, what is that? 12:12. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. All right, because why? The prophets started prophesying against them. All right. Let me just read a couple more verses. No, that was it there. Let me what was I just gonna grab? Oh yeah. Give me a second, Salakia. All right, let me just I'm gonna start Revelations 11:8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified." That's talking about here in America, right? And the dead bodies is basically how you go Ezekiel 37, the valley of the dry bones, right? 2/3 of our people right now, this very day, right now, if you don't know that you're Israelite, come back to this here truth. You know what I'm saying? You still walking around, you the walking dead, man. All right? Your dead bodies are still laying in the streets of Babylon right now, man. All right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans is calling yourselves Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Your dead bodies are still laying in the streets of this place is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, which is America, all right? Verse 9, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry and send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. All right. So basically, they rejoicing when they seen us in that dead state. Psalms 83, when we didn't know who we were. But also in Ezekiel 37, talk about us being raised up as the valley of the dry bones. All right. That's going hand in hand with what we reading here. You just seen their dead bodies laying in the streets. All right, Ezekiel 37, the valley of the dry bones. We in this very low place. All right, this is the place here in America, man. We very dry. We very dead. We don't know who the fuck we are over here, man. All right, verse 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life, all right, going into the valley of the dry bones, all right, the Lord blew a breath on them and they became a living a spirit. All right, that's talking about this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, this is, how they wind up, that's our real first not really our first spiritual power, because faith is the first spiritual power, but one of the first few spiritual powers that you get when you come into this here truth. All right, you start teaching is what? Raising the dead, man. You out on the highways and the byways and put up these here videos, all right, and able to break down these here scriptures so that the elect can be able to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the Lord has already predestinated the elect, but nevertheless, they're gonna be raised up through, you actually doing the work to preach and to prophesy, man. All right, so you able to put these scriptures together, preach and prophesy, and when brothers wake up, off of the works that you're doing, all right, but you basically raising the dead, man. All right. How the hell did you know that you were Israelite? How did you know that, what so-called what tribe you from, if you know which tribe you from, or how did you know the Lord's name and his son's name is? Who gave you that their life, man? All right, it was one of the other prophets that was on the highways and the byways that gave you this here truth, man. All right. It says Revelation 11 and 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. All right. Just like how beforehand you was walking around here thinking that you was, like, for me, I thought I was a so-called black man, African American, walking around here in America. And that's who I thought I was. I was, the walking dead, spiritually dead, the dry bones, right? But then came across the videos, and that was the Lord blowing that breath into me. And then I started being raised from the dead, man. All right, and I shaved off that old man, that old Negro man or whatever, whatnot, and came into the life of being an Israelite, all right? Going back to who I was created to be, all right? So it says the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood up upon their feet. Just like, again, Ezekiel 37, as I prophesied as I commanded, and lo, there rose up an exceedingly great army that stood, roughly paraphrasing, stood on their feet. What is that? Ezekiel 37 and verse 10. All right. Let me go there because I keep quoting that. Let me just get that real quick. I keep quoting this here, Valley of the Dry Bones. But I'm gonna just get to the point. Ezekiel 37 and verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath came into them. All right, and the breath, let me go to 9. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, say unto the wind, thus saith Yahweh power, come from the four winds and breathe and oh breath, and breathe upon these slain that they may live. All right, long story short, the valley of dry bones. Let me go to verse 5. I think, wait, where is it at? Oh, verse 11. All right. Just jumping around because I'm gonna go back up to 10. It says, then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say our bones are dried, our hope is lost. We are cut off of our parts. All right. So the dry bones represent what? The children of Israel, but they don't know who they are. All right. Verse 10 says, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath came into them, and they lived. All right. So these are the men on the highways and the byways preaching, right? Letting you know who you are, give you the name, and so on and so forth, building you back up. All right. And the breath came into them. All right. The spirit entered into these men. All right. And they lived. All right. That means that they woke up to who they were and stood up upon their feet. All right. Now they standing in great boldness. The prophets are on the highways and the byways, stood up upon their feet an exceedingly great army. All right. Going into what? The 144,000. So let's get back to Revelation 11 and 11, where it says they stood up. Right. This is Revelation 11 and 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood up upon their feet. All right, that exceedingly great army. All right, from the valley of the dry bones. Remember, we just reading how they was rejoicing over these prophets, because these two prophets that tormented them on the earth. They was rejoicing because they was dead. The two prophets represent the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. The northern and the southern kingdoms. All right, but nevertheless, as they was prophesying, they stood up, and it says, verse 11, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. All right. So basically, who are the ones that saw them? These would be the elites, the people that's ruling in this here society. All right. Because of the fact of, they was like, oh damn, they didn't they woke up to who they were, you know. Let me find a precept real quick. Oh, give me a second, Salak. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5:1. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as has afflicted him and made no account of his labor. All right. Verse 2, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at all the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they looked for. So now going into this, actually I'll keep reading down a little bit. But going into this is the same thing we was just reading about, what? The valley of the dry bones and the breath being blown into them. All right. And then there stood up an exceedingly great army. All right. Then that great fear fell upon them that saw them. All right. This is the same thing that we're reading here. Then the righteous man shall stand in great boldness before the face of such as has afflicted him. So this is what you see in the elect standing up, prophesying in the face of those that afflicted them, you know. All right. And verse 2 says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. All right. Because why? They know that they have but a short time. All right. They know that the Lord is about to bring his judgment down now. All right. Because beforehand, the whole time they was doing their wickedness, man, the prophets was slain, man. That's why they was rejoicing over the dead prophets whose bodies was laying in the street and no man was going to try to bury him, you know, because it's like, shit, we got a free reign. Ain't nobody around right now, you know. But now all of a sudden, you know, it's like somebody robbing a store or whatever, whatnot. They could take their time. No alarms is going off. No police is coming. They just taking their time, whatever, whatnot. Oh, shit, man, let me go get this and that. But then all of a sudden, from a distance, they can hear police sirens coming down the street. They're like, oh, shit, let's grab this shit up and get ready to go. Because they know what? They out of a short time before the police arrive and they're going to either get caught or something going, you know, they're not going to be able to get away, you know. Verse 3, and they repented and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometime in derision and proverb of reproach. Because also these people they're gonna remember, like, damn, man, once they realize what's going on, like, damn, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, especially how we've been talking all this shit and oppressing them, so on and so forth, you know. At first it started out as like, damn, these niggas is just, you know, they just always cooning, protesting about some dumb shit. They Muslims, they this and that. But then once they start to see all the things that we've been prophesying about is actually, all these calamities is actually coming down upon them, then they're gonna be like, oh shit, man, they was right about this prophecy, that prophecy, so on and so forth. How much more about the prophecies of us going into slavery? You know, we did have them in slavery, like, oh shit, you know. Verse 4, we fools account his life madness and his end without honor. You know, this is like when these people roll by us on the highways and the byways, making memes of us, taking pictures and making jokes of us or whatever, whatnot. You know, there's gonna come a point in time, you know, some of them are waking up to this shit now. That's why you see a lot of these people committing suicide, man. This is why you got, you know, you look on the internet of these Edomites that's rebuttaling that they're not Edomites and how bugged out that they are just because they found out that they Edomites and they did their research and found out that they're going into slavery, man. A lot of these people around the earth know about this, man. You know, people know who we are, man. People know who we are, whatever, whatnot, man. All right. But nevertheless, continuing on. Hey, matter of fact, we just had a scenario over the weekend at camp where you had this chick come up, you know, she like an Edomite chick. She claimed she was Arab, but you had the Edomite chick come up and she was just being drunk, you know what I'm saying? Because we had this fucking event that was going on out there. Everybody was drunk. But nevertheless, she was drunk talking all this shit or whatever, whatnot. But then her man kept coming up like, come on, babe, let's go. Let's just go. And I could hear him saying something like, these are these guys, they're such and such, let's just go. Like, normally, you know, you would see these Edomite dudes come up and be all proud or whatever, whatnot, you know, whatever, whatnot. But he was like, yo, dog, don't fuck with them. Let's go for some bad shit happen, you know? And we ain't never seen them a day in our life, but just the way that, you know, just discerning the old boy spirit, he knew exactly who the fuck we were. He didn't watch us enough times, maybe not our specific camp, but he didn't see us enough times, you know, on the internet and knowing the trends that, like, you don't want to fuck with them. Beforehand, it was funny, it was all jokes, but I didn't see too many people get fucked up. I done seen too many horrible things happen to these people that then been making jokes and mocking at them or whatever, whatnot. Then all of a sudden, their ass just wound up dead or in a fucked up position. All right. So he was trying to get it. Come on, babe. Let's just go. Let's just go. You know. So this is the same thing that we're reading here. Verse 4, we fools accounted his life madness and his end without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High and is lot among the saints? Verse 6, therefore have we erred in the way of truth and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. All right. So basically, you know, this is going into at the end all be all. I call this the you know, you fucked up, right? You know, the ultimate L that they're gonna take, you know, especially when they seen the children of Israel getting taken up into these chariots, you know. But nevertheless, this is I wanted to read from the top half about that great fear falling upon them. All right, and these the men of the Lord stand in great boldness in the face of those that afflicted them. This is why these people are starting to panic right now. This is why these elites are saying the things that they're saying and doing the things that they're doing right now, man. All right, because they're in full swing panic mode because they see that their witchcraft and their enchantment isn't working like it used to work and things like that. Man, they're not being able to prevail like they used to prevail before. All right, they notice that there's a change in the current in the climate. All right. Jeremiah 51:12, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. All right, and what? And let me keep reading. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambush, for Yahweh have both devised and done which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. All right, so look, the Lord has set up his prophets against Babylon to prophesy their downfall. All right, to let them know that, look, bro, it's about to go ill for you, man. All right, but what did the inhabitants? What do you think the king of Babylon would be thinking? You know what I'm saying? When he got the prophets that's inside of Babylon, because he's got them in captivity. Now he's prophesying the downfall of his destruction, man. All right, how much more this last king of Babylon? Because beforehand, you didn't seen all the other kingdoms beforehand. The same thing happened, man. In Egypt, Moses said, "Let my people go." Then Egypt was made desolate, man. All right, it was decimated. Then you had Babylon. All right, then you seen what happened after that. They was partying with the golden vessels of the Lord out the temple. Then the handwriting on the wall came in before the night. Amen. They was giving it to the hands of the Medes and the Persians, man. All right. Then the Medes and the Persians was taken down by what? Or by who? Alexander the Greek, man. All right. And even the Edomites wound up going down. That was that beast that had that deadly wound to the head. They wound up being cast into the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. But then guess what? That wounded head came back to life, man. That's where we at now. But guess what? Their inner thoughts is their house is going to go on forever. All right. But no, the Lord has set up his watchmen. All right. In the midst of Babylon, letting Babylon know that their end is come. All right. But how do you think the king of Babylon is going to take this, man? He ain't going to be like, nah, man, y'all need to reject this, man. We're going to keep going forward full steam because of their pride, man. The pride of their heart has deceived them. All right. Let me read this again. Jeremiah 51:12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Set up the watchmen, the men of the Lord. All right. Prepare the ambush, for Yahweh have both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. So the Lord purposed to destroy this here place, man. And he's about to start bringing that judgment. All right. Oh, shit, we can read this too. Actually, I'm gonna read Jeremiah 51:27-31. It says, set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet again among the nations, prepare the nations against her. All right, that's what we're doing right now. So this is what they don't like, because why? We out here prophesying that, look, these nations are about to come up against Babylon and they're gonna burn her with fire, man. All these nations finna come up against Babylon. Everyone with missiles, they're gonna shoot all their missiles over here on Babylon, man. All right, and that's what we prophesying, because it's written down in the scriptures. All right, we just let you know what the Lord is gonna do with these other nations, man. But guess what? America don't like that, man. So they're not gonna be so happy with that shit, man. All right. So it's to set up the standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Mini, Ashkenaz, appoint a captain against her, cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars. Prepare against her the nations with the king of the Medes. All right. Going to Ezekiel 38, talking about Gog and Magog with that great conglomeration of nations. This is talking about Russia. All right. And what do you see happening? We've been prophesying about this before Russia started getting more and more allies on their side, before they started increasing their military capabilities and things like that, man. All right. So it says, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble for sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon desolate without inhabitants. All right. So look, going into that, all right, how do you think the king of Babylon is going to feel, man? If basically you tell them like, yo, bro, the Lord is about to destroy this whole place, man, off the face of the earth, man. All right, let me keep reading. Verse 30. And the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight, for they remained in their holes. Their might have failed. They become as women. They are burned in their dwelling places. Her bars are broken. You know, because when these people start seeing these chariots, man, these soldiers are gonna be afraid. All right, verse 31. Hey, when they hear these nukes coming down, they're gonna be afraid. Verse 31. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end. All right, and so this is basically going into the downfall of America and Jeremiah 49, 50, and 51. But nevertheless, this is where we at right now, man. Telling these Edomites that, hey, your time is up, man. Your kingdom is through, man. It's crumbling right before your face. The Lord is putting these curses on you, man. It's over for your ass now at this here point in time, man. All right, but guess what? They're not gonna be so happy with that, man. They're gonna be like, oh hell, now y'all, if we could shut y'all up from saying all these things, like I said, it went from a point that we was just being stupid, retarded, just lost our minds, being bug outs, to like, damn, if we could shut these niggas up, maybe all these calamities will stop coming upon us. We got to do something about these niggas, man. And that's what they're going through right now, man. All right. But ultimately, what they're gonna try to do is come down with the persecution, man. This is gonna lead to further persecution, man. All right, because they're gonna get tired of being tormented by these prophets, man. Every time they want to make a move, which in the past they've been able to make all these moves and prevail. Now every time they make a move, you got what? The prophets putting up prayers against their ass, curses against their ass, and crying out to the Lord, and the Lord is stopping their ass, man. All right. More and more they try to shut us down. You get more and more camps sprouting up in different cities. Camps are growing. Camps are getting bigger, man. This word is going out further and further around the world, man. You got people waking up in different countries and things like that, man. All right. Hey, and how beautiful it is. They all preaching the same doctrine, man. All right. That's how you know that this is spiritual, man. It's not just, come on, man. If this was a so-called black extremist movement and stuff like that, how come you got us, groups of us sprouting up all throughout the four corners of the earth, which we know spiritually, well, really physically, you still have so-called black men, let's just say in China, right, that look like so-called Chinese people, but based off of DNA, they still so-called black people, because you are who your father is, Prime example, Blake Griffin and his father, and then Blake Griffin's son. Blake Griffin's father looked like a regular, typical so-called Haitian, very dark-skinned man. All right, but Blake Griffin's son looked like a regular, everyday ass Edomite, blonde hair, blue eye, Macaulay Culkin looking ass, man. All right, but guess what? He's still a so-called Haitian. All right, he's still a Israelite. All right. We go to the book of Obadiah 1:1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yahweh power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord. All right, talking about these prophecies, man. All right, the Lord is about to destroy Esau, Edom. All right, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. All right, so, and when you go further down, this is talking about the judgment of Esau, but nevertheless, going into all of this, right, it says that the ambassador is sent among the heathen. All right, but the Lord has sent forth his messengers, his servants, the prophets, to let you know of your downfall, man, to read out your judgment, man. And ultimately, Esau don't want this here judgment to go forth. This is why he's over here trying to persecute the men of the Lord, telling the people not to listen to the prophets and things like that, man. All right, this is why Esau does these things, all right? I'm going to close out with this in Isaiah 14. And, yeah, Isaiah 14 and 4. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased? How has the golden city ceased? Now, we just read that in Jeremiah 51 about, one messenger shall run from one post to the other post with the message that Babylon is fallen, to report to the king. All right. Verse 4 again. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The question part here is pretty much you being facetious. You asking the question, you got, let's just say you got Muhammad Ali. I'm the greatest. I ain't never going to be beat. This and that. Like, how did the greatest lose? You know what I'm saying? How you get your ass whooped and you the greatest? You know what I'm saying? You basically being facetious like that, But nevertheless, going back, it says, thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased and the golden city ceased? All right. Or on the flip side, on a more serious note, like what we doing, it says, thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, Babylon is taken. Babylon going to be destroyed. That's the point that we at right now, because we're not going to really be telling the king of Babylon, oh, Babylon is destroyed because, well, the king of Babylon will probably still be around because he's going to go into captivity. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? This is more or less as a prophecy beforehand. All right. We telling you that, hey, this is your whole place finna get turned into the lake of fire. Your economy going to collapse. You're going to have civil war here. All right. You're going to be burned with thermonuclear fire. All right. Telling you all these different things, man. but they don't want to hearken into these things, man. They want to hear that, oh, everything's going to prophesy into smooth things, just like our people want to hear. Now we're going to go on forever. God's going to so-called bless America. We're going to keep going on with our wickedness, keep putting these nations in subjection, keep bombing the hell out of all these people, man. Keep poisoning the water and the air and everything like that. That's what they want to hear. They're going to be able to keep going in their wickedness, man. But when they hear about the Lord's going to come in and exterminate their damn ass and put their ass into slavery, they don't want to hear that. 2/3 of our people don't want to hear that the damn party finna stop, and they can't keep doing the wickedness that they doing as well too, you know. So this is why, you hear Donald Trump talking about you need to reject the perennial prophets of doom and gloom, prophesying about the apocalypse. All right. And that's what we're telling you about. The death and destruction is coming. The day of the Lord, judgment day is coming. All right. You living in the midst of judgment day, man. And this ain't nothing that's so-called far off. That's like, way off 10, 20, 40, 50 years ago, And this is me now speaking as a man, because no man knows the day or the hour, but just measuring the time diligently, man. I'd be surprised if we was here for another 5 years, bro, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? That's just me speaking as a man, but I don't really see us going on another 5 years like this, man. All right. So look, they know that they got but a short amount of time. And guess what? They're gonna fight it all the way out to the end, man. So this is why you see in things like Donald Trump coming in the news and trying to come up against us. You see these smear campaigns with the propaganda. Hey, the persecution is right around the corner, man. All right. And also with the persecution that's going to be coming, is going to also come the famine of the word. When the famine of the word come, you're going to also have them heavily pushing out this RFID chip, the microchip, man, or just the mark of the beast. Then you're going to start seeing what? Martial law and all these things go off. Then what? You're going to have World War III pop off. Then the chariots going to come right alongside with the thermonuclear missiles, man. So we have to end all be all of these things, man. It would, it's, how do I say, it's not nothing out of the blue for Donald Trump and them talking about the prophets of doom. Don't listen to them. Yeah, because they trying to keep you asleep, man. These are the same people that said let's cut Israel off from being the name of Israel from remembrance. These are the same people that took you into captivity. Of course, they don't want you to wake up, man. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying into the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation, much love for you, Aki, and pushing his truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.